How's it going, guys? Banshee Games here, and welcome back to Surviving in Drucker County. If you haven't seen the first episode, I highly recommend you go back and watch it, because this video will make a lot more sense. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and address the main objective of this episode, which is to increase the overall size of my community. This can be done in a multitude of ways, but I'm going to jumpstart the process by recruiting a legacy survivor. And this can be done if you scrap a community or you have survivors that you really like and would like to transfer them over to another world. That being said, we're going to start by getting Mia into this community, and she's going to be our town's doctor. This is also going to get us a little bit closer to moving out of this base and into the barricaded strip mall on the north side of the map. Shortly after adding Mia to the community, I took Zach out for some scavenging. I didn't find anything too interesting except for this one dude named Carl who needed some help getting back to his own base. Since I didn't have anything better going on, I decided I might as well help him. Took out this one zombie here, did a little bit of searching, and then after that, took him back home to this Tartan Mart where his group was waiting for him to come back. So it's always good to have another group of friendly survivors on the road.
You're welcome. Come in, make yourself at home.
After dropping Carl off safely at his base, I decided it was time to add B-Man to my community. This powerhouse of a survivor is the last legacy survivor that I'm going to get, so there's no more freebies. After that, I took Zach to the south side of the map, where I looted a military roadblock, which consisted of a lot of different types of ammo. This is important for obvious reasons, such as base defenses, as well as just harder missions down the road. And since I was in the area, I decided to climb up a nearby cell tower to get a better lay of the land. There was a lot of good stuff on this side of the map, but I wasn't going to be here often, so I needed to know what was in the area.
Now that place could be useful as an outpost.
My best find was an airfield warehouse, which I would immediately claim as an outpost. Because the farther away from your bases, the better it is to have an outpost out there. That way you can drop off a lot of loot and different gear here without getting over encumbered and running out of space. After claiming that materials outpost at the south side of the map, I decided it was time to visit another group of survivors, and I went ahead and added Layla to our community. A couple minutes later, I did the same thing again to another group of survivors, and I picked up Michaela this time. Layla was still with me, so I decided to take the both of them back to base in the car. It was at this point that I realized that my community was now up to 7 survivors, which meant I only needed one more survivor added to my community to be able to move into the barricaded strip mall that I had mentioned earlier. That being said, I was on the lookout for any opportunities to recruit one more guy to my community. Thankfully, it didn't take too long before this opportunity presented itself when a dude named Diego asked us to protect him while he was searching a nearby warehouse. It took about 3 minutes, but once it was all over, he gifted us with a rucksack, as well as asking to join our community, which is what we were really excited for. So after we let him join, we got in the car and took him back to base, increasing our survivor count to 8. Shortly after bringing Diego back to base, it was brought to my attention that a thief had stolen some supplies from us. I wasn't going to let that stand because I can't have anybody pushing around our community. So, we're going to have to track him down and teach him a lesson. On the way out, I realized that my new group of survivors wasn't looking the part, so I decided to give them an outfit upgrade. Now that they looked the part and were a lot more intimidating, I decided it was time to go and address the thief situation. I also decided to bring Diego with me because a little bit of backup is never a bad idea, especially when dealing with thieves. I decided to let the thief live because the medical supplies he stole from us was going to be used to cure his infected friend. After dealing with the thief situation, I decided to make a stop by a group of weapons dealers to see what they had available. I bought my favorite weapon, the Chris Vector SMG, even though it was overpriced. And then after that, I decided to put a stop to their overpricing bullying and took 2 of them out by gunning them down. The third one went down pretty easy too, with a couple of headshots. Made sure Diego was okay, and then thought about what I was going to do with the last one who was still alive. I decided not to execute her after gunning down her 2 friends, but I made her drop everything that she had and told her to get lost. So I did get another gun, as well as a couple of mines, which is always helpful. Next step was to go on a food run, so I decided to take out a play cart, as well as gather food just to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It didn't take very long, especially with the gear and grenades that I got from the weapons dealers, and I also found a Ranger SUV, which I always like finding because it's one of my favorite vehicles in the game. After dropping off the guns and food that I had gotten from the weapons hoarders in the play cart, I decided to take Diego to a nearby group of survivors and see what their issues were. The biggest by far was that one of their survivors, Clarence, hasn't been checking in recently, so I decided to check a nearby rickety barn to see if he was doing okay. He was. There were no issues. He just needed a little bit of assistance getting back to his home base, so I immediately agreed to bring him back to base free of charge. No issues getting him back to base. It was just a short drive around the road. Decided to get out of the car and return him back to his base, and immediately after that, I recruited Jigsaw, a doctor, into our community. Mainly because I thought she had a cool name.
What's going on, hun?
We could use someone like you on our team. Want to join up?
And that's pretty much it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider leaving a like, and if you find yourself coming back to my content, consider subscribing. That way you don't miss out on any of it. I want to apologize for the delay that it took me to get this second episode out. I've been rather busy with some personal matters as well as work itself. And I can make a promise that the next episode in this series will be released next Sunday. The main objective and premise of that video will be moving into the barricaded strip mall, as well as base customizations and some random objectives here and there. So if you guys look forward to that, just stay tuned until next Sunday, and you guys will be able to watch it. I don't have a time that it'll be out, but sometime next Sunday it'll be posted. Okay, that's pretty much all I have, though. Yeah, I hope you guys stay safe. Make sure you're getting enough sleep and eating well. And without further ado, peace out, guys.